Adventurers, if you are enjoying the journey so far, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps our channel grow and continue making content for your entertainment. And now, the black horse and its strange rider halted before the old monk in grey garbs, who emerged from his ramshackle shelter by the roadside, where the paths forked.
Blessings of the great oak upon you.
The monk remarked, wiping his sweaty bald pate.
This heat is so bad it's killing me.
He held his worn wooden staff up, gesturing bitterly at the skies.
Barnabas Rattleby at your service, miss. What can I help you with?
Have you seen a carriage pass through these parts, old man? Painted black, from the capital, driven by a man and a woman,
Interjected the rider, her green eyes glinting impatiently from under a black hood.
Maybe. I've seen a lot of things around here.
Please, don't make me ask again.
Perhaps, would you like to donate something for the sanctuary? Might jog an old man's memory.
She sighed, reaching into a small satchel to retrieve a gold coin. Her reddish skin and claws were visible then. The rider was a Valrath. Barnabas's eyes bulged excitedly at the coin. He reached for a small ragged pouch by his side, filled with meager baubles and a handful of similar coins, ready to add hers to the pile.
Thank you, kind miss.
The carriage.
Yes, I remember them now. Going very fast, no turns, straight on down the east road. I saw them a while back and
She leapt off the horse and scraped the blood off the bottom of her boot. She picked up the monk's staff with a vice-like grip and clobbered his bald head. Barnabas's pleas were silenced, his writhing slowed to a still, and his grey robes were bathed a bloody crimson. Before the beatings finally stopped, the Valrath plucked the monk's ragged pouch and drew a single coin, tossing it onto his body. It clattered onto the growing puddle of blood by his head.
Blessings of the great oak upon you, old man.
Gloomhaven Tales by Candlelight. Part 4. Sanctuary. Hex knelt by the wavering Savas's side and withdrew a small vial. There was some blue liquid in it, but most of the container was filled with a strange, swirling white mist. The curious heads of villagers that hovered above them were full of whispers. As she unstopped the vial, many backed away in a wave of panic. The swirling mist began to creep out, coiling around the body of her wounded companion. She had seen it in worse scuffles and conditions, and so she was confident it would pull through. She stood to address the villagers then, who kept a safe distance.
This is my friend. We were attacked. Please, it's not safe out there, especially when it's wounded like this. I know it's a huge ask, but can we please stay somewhere here? Just a little shelter for a bit. I assure you, we won't get in the way, and we'll be out of your hair in no time.
Her only response for a time were nervous mutterings and some who departed from the scene. Then they heard a strong booming voice as a rather plump, rosy-cheeked man pushed his way through the crowd.
Dear me! Strangers with strange comings and goings! What else is to be expected? What be your name, my young quarrel friend?
Hexaculus, and this is Brimstone.
And I take it you two were victims of the same eunuchs that have their eyes on our quaint homes. It seems fortune has been bestowed upon you then.
Hex flinched, for a moment reminded of her grandfather's words of fortune on her endeavors. She sighed, looking down. A part of her felt close to her companion then. Perhaps she realized it was the closest relative or family she had in that part of the world, and she feared for its safety.
You are welcome here, Hexaculus. Both of you. Just don't make a habit of it. Can't have our little refuge being a haven for every sort of stranger. Never know good from bad these days, I say. And sometimes It's the least threatening ones that get you. But enough of that. Come now.
He gestured for others to help lift Brimstone. It took a genuine effort from a host of them to get it to a bed in a sheltered hut.
Where are they?
Taking your friend there to be tended to, if you can somehow. You seem to done the trick. Are you a doctor or a scientist? Haha, what's that misty elixir you had there?
Just something I worked on. I engineered it.
Ah, an engineer. Exemplary. Do not fret about your friend. Come along, you must be weary. A hearty lunch? A tour perhaps?
No, I'll stay with Brim for a bit first, if that's alright.
Of course. My apologies. Do take all the time you need.
The man replied, walking away. Hex began walking towards the hut, then turned.
Wait, what's your name?
That would be Gwalin, with a W. I'm the chief around here, in case you're ever looking for me.
He bellowed with a hearty chuckle. He sang a merry tune of few words as he departed. She smiled and entered the hut. Brimstone was resting, unawake. When they were alone, she reached into her backpack and retrieved the rectangular package. She felt a burning sense of curiosity. Twisting the two locks, she opened the lid. Inside were 3 large glistening crystals, pinkish in hue. She studied them curiously, no indication of what kind they were or where they had come from. She was particularly enthralled with the crystals, almost with an otherworldly curiosity. She could not quite explain the hold it had on her, but she felt a nagging desire to keep them for herself, even if her intentions were merely to study and understand them. In time, she stowed it away safely, and when evening came, she was invited to join Gwalin and the others for a meal around a bonfire in the village square. One of them stayed to look after Brimstone, who had barely roused. Hex was very appreciative, trying to forget her woes with a simple meal of stewed rabbit and fresh herbs. Many in the Headwind settlement were curious folk, rarely accommodating strangers. Hence they pried and questioned her often, of her home and her job and of her adventures, few so far as they were. She was happy to oblige, dramatic and grandiose with each tale, as a mercenary should be. Gwalin was particularly in awe.
You must be celebrated in your home and town of Gloomhaven. Remarkable, really. A wonder of intelligence, if I may be so bold. Such skills could ease many burdens, even dealing with raiders, no doubt. We have little love and much fear of these Inox parties.
Have they attacked your village?
Yes, months and months, raiding and killing many. We had 2 choices, cower and surrender, or stand up and fight. We learned to defend ourselves. The hunters, as we dubbed our best, watched the perimeter. True marksmen and artists with blades by their own right. With enough retaliation, our threats withdrew. No invasions, no assaults anymore. For now. But they will try again. Rumors say they have taken up with wormlings and rebel orchids now, to share in the spoils of our demise.
In the course of their conversations, the people of Headwind informed Hex that they were a mining settlement. Often they dealt in ore, turning them into ingots at the numerous soot-laden smelters about. They also made their living off trading precious materials like gems and crystals hewn from the rock. In that instant, Hex had a reflexive thought. She reached into her backpack and retrieved the package the mercenaries had braved the roads for.
Oh, in my travels, I came across these. Have you seen the likes?
She asked, opening the lid. Several eyes lit up in surprise and in wonder at the marvelous crystals.
May I?
Asked Gwalin, reaching for one. He donned his rounded glasses and studied it close to the fire.
I've only seen one like this before, pinkish and all, but much smaller.
Great! What do you know of them?
Not much, but it was being used to power machinery, so I suppose they have some sort of unknown energy about them. Lots of potential for one of that size, though.
Out of the way!
Came the booming voice as Brimstone brushed past the villager. Hex's eyes lit up in excitement. Brimstone looked to Hex, then the open package, and turned to face Gwalin, still holding the crystal in hand.
Give it back, human.
Of course, of course. It's great to see you back on your feet. Would you care to sup with us by the fire? Brimstone, was it not?
Gwalin returned the crystal. The Savas grumbled and gestured for Hex to join it, ignoring the man. They walked a short ways away before Brimstone turned to address her.
What were you thinking? Why did you open it or show it to strangers?
I was just curious. I wasn't gonna keep it. I just wanted to know what we had risked our lives for.
Curiosity can be the end of a mercenary, Hex. It's not a safe life by any means. We were not tasked to look, just to retrieve it. And what about them?
They're helpful people, Brim. They have good hearts. They help look after you. They took us in. They didn't even know about the package. I bought it up because they're minors.
Well, now they know. What makes you so sure they wouldn't want to take it for themselves?
I don't know. I just had a feeling that they could be trusted. Call it intuition, if you must. They're people down on their luck. They're having to fend off Inox raiders. They did nothing discourteous, and they just tried to shed some light on these crystals, in fact.
They sure don't look down on their luck.
Well, they defended themselves. Look, I wanted to understand. And they said the crystals, they have potential, and
I don't care what the crystals do. Do you not understand that we need to give these back? We do not even know who these belong to or who we stand to anger with our involvement.
There was a long contemplative pause. Gwalin approached them cautiously, hoping to get a word in.
all right, I won't meddle with it. And I won't show the others. I'm sorry, Brim.
It's fine. We just need to be careful. We should leave in the morning.
I'm sorry, so sorry if I caused any strife or disagreements. We meant well. Curious fools we are, just fascinated. Please do come and rest, and let's put this displeasure behind us.
Brimstone sighed and almost collapsed on the ground when he took another step, supported by its companion. Gwalin came over to support the Savas on the other side, and they walked together.
I could not help but overhear your plans to leave in the morning.
Is that a problem?
Oh no, of course not. It's just, well, two things. One, the roads won't be safe, especially at night, while your journey will be slow and arduous in your current state. And two, a small group of us are heading for Gloomhaven in the morning ourselves, if that is your part. We are making our routine shipments of more ingots and gems. So, if I may be so bold, I would welcome you to join us to travel the roads together. A merry company on the road is less likely to be waylaid, I often say. Plus, they think twice with hardened mercenaries with it.
Brimstone looked down towards Hex. She had a resigned look on her face, wanting to avoid further arguments. As much as it was wary, Gwalin had made a good point. In the end, the biggest part of it finally accepting their offer was that it trusted Hex's intuition on these strangers, for better or worse.
Splendid! We will make the arrangements. For tonight, please enjoy yourselves and be comforted in our sanctuary.
Their stressful journey left them missing the sleeping lion more than ever. They hoped Gundros would hold up his end of the bargain when they returned, and they could finally leave their ordeals far behind them. They drifted off to sleep to the songs of a well-versed musician who strummed and sang late into that quiet night.
Gray are the clouds, mired in shrouds. Our volleys have failed and our follies regaled. Our world is breaking, cracking apart. We fumble and stumble and bumble and crumble. Broken and woven again and again. Our land, our seas, our home and our fate. Someday we'll turn this lifetime anew, and we hope to be there to make it through.
Next time on Gloomhaven Tales by Candlelight. Our mercenaries were ready to meet Gundros.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Not everyone is sound of mind.
Please remember to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of our mercenaries. And also, if you enjoy delving into the interesting world of Gloomhaven, created by Isaac Childress. Don't forget to leave a comment on your thoughts so far, and we are looking forward to reading your predictions on what is to come.